Hello out there, music collectors. Edward here back with a video. And today's video is response or 12 questions. These 12 questions were done by Jeff over at CalicoSilver. And I watched his video and I enjoyed his video with the 12 questions. So I thought I'd take a shot with the same 12 questions. I will leave a link to his channel about the response to the 12 question for YouTube friends. One thing I want to say about Jeff, I do enjoy his videos. I haven't watched a lot of the videos, but I've enjoyed his videos about Bob Dylan. I am a Bob Dylan fan, and one thing I'd like to share is that when I started learning how to play the guitar, my first song or first two songs that I learned how to play on the guitar were Bob Dylan's You Ain't Going Nowhere and One More Cup of Coffee. Those were my first songs to learn how to play on the guitar. And then I learned how to play John Lennon's Imagine and so on and so on. Well, let me get back onto point here. The 12 questions. Now, I wrote down each question as best as I heard it. So I kind of wrote fast, a little um, quickly. So the first question is, when a musical hero dies, do you avoid their music or listen to them more? Sometimes it's both. Like when John Lennon passed away, I didn't want to hear no Lennon music or the Beatles. It devastated me, and so I for a while there I didn't listen to any Beatles music or even John Lennon solo music. And then when David Bowie passed away, that also crushed me, and I went and wanted to listen to his music. I wanted to hear albums like The Man Who Sold the World and Hunky Dory, and it was really emotional. Um, then I went out to look for some of his albums that I never did listen to or didn't have. Example like Never Let Me Down and Earthling or Reality, his albums there. And I went to look for those, and at that time, no one had those, none of his music in stock. It was for a while there. It was like a ghost town for his music. But yeah, I've been both ways. Whenever I hear a musical hero dies, I either stay away from the music, don't want to listen to it for a while, or I want to hear their music. I want to hear their voice and the music they created. Second question. Do you get excited when you hear a band doing an album of covers? Not really. I don't remember if I ever have. I know that Cheap Trick did did a cover of the whole album Sergeant Pepper, which I still never have listened to this day. And the Smithereens, if I'm correct, did the whole album Tommy. And I think they might have did an album where they did some Beatle covers. But no, I don't really get excited or rush out to get those things too much. I think I have heard a few artists that did like covers of Bob Dylan tunes. I was disappointed in some of their versions, but that's me. Do you like classical versions of your favorite albums? No, and I don't understand why they do that unless they're trying to cash in on, let's just say when you hear that there's a classical version of The Dark Side of the Moon. I wonder if they're trying to just cash in on the title and want to make money. I mean, make money from that. But anything classical that I ever got, and this is probably not in relation to the question, is I like the classical stuff that Zappa has done. And I know it's not no covers, but I don't know. Just wanted to add that in there. Um, the fourth question: should bands who have a new frontman be called the same name? No, I really don't think so. And this is just my opinion. Like Queen, to me, Freddie Mercury has passed. That's a big hole in the group, in my opinion. And they shouldn't be called Queen anymore. And my favorite band, The Who, goes on with the name The Who, but they really, I don't know. I mean, they have two members that are gone already. Shouldn't, in my opinion, shouldn't even be called The Who anymore. I know they're not frontmen who passed away, but still. But Freddie Mercury was the frontman of Queen, and I don't really think they should be going by the name Queen anymore. That's just my opinion. Do you ever listen to the bonus tracks? Yes, I do. I do like to hear alternate versions or home demo recordings a lot. And that way I get an idea of what the song was like. What was the seed planted for the song to develop. And a good one that I've always liked, is the making of the whole song Strawberry Fields Forever by the Beatles. I really do like hearing it in the stages. I've even heard like a home demo where it was just Lennon playing it on the acoustic. So yeah, I do like alternate versions and demos. I'm not too crazy about hearing the live versions here and the live versions in Europe, wherever. I feel like that can be all put onto one live CD of that whole performance, and I don't know why they do that. Why they just can't say like here live from California the whole concert. But anyway, that's just me on that. The next question, I think I wrote this down correctly, and excuse me if I didn't, but it says he said something about box sets, individual CDs for each album, something about the way they're done, and I agree. If they're going to make box sets, like let's just say, here's an example. If they made a box set of Doors, it should be all the individual albums, and then the other disc should be like if there was earlier mono versions, demos. If there's going to be concert live versions, then it should just be on separate disc. And I hope I remember that question right. Now, I want to say this. I do like the way they did the Jethro Tull box sets. I do like the way those were done. Let's see here. I'm at question number 7, and I hope I repeat this one right. Do you hesitate to read an autobiography for the reason of fear of losing respect of them or the artist or the band? No, I don't fear, because nothing surprises me. We all have flaws. I am no different from, let's just say, Eric Clapton. I'm a man. He's a man. He lives in a house. I live in a different kind of house. And anything you're going to hear or read, or it doesn't. Hey, we all have something dark in the shadows of our closet. Let's put it that way, okay? You might think it's not dark, but others do. So it doesn't. I don't lose respect, or I expect to hear it. And if they put it out there, then they're just being honest about something. Okay. Question number 8. Do you find yourself acting a bit of apologist or someone who apologizes when an artist is not great or they didn't do something great? That's the way I understand the question, and excuse me if I don't. And I would say no. It is what it is. If that's how they want it, if that's how they sing, that's how they strum it, that's how they pluck it, that's how they drum it, that's how they record it, that's how they sound, their voice changes or whatever. No, I don't apologize for that, because I'm a fan, and I enjoy the artist that I listen to. I do have a few quick examples. I don't apologize about, I'm a fan of Kiss, that rock band. And when they did that period where they went to non-makeup, hey, they went and made some more good rock and roll, and sold some more good records, and made some more cash for themselves. I don't apologize they took off their makeup. Um, Bob Dylan, his voice kind of changed on some of his later albums, but I heard it's because of he quit smoking. That's the way it sounded. That's the way it's done. I love albums like Nashville Skyline or John Wesley Harding. So I don't really expect them or the artists I like to keep making the same records all the time. I don't keep expecting to hear Harvest all the time. And if something changes their voice or the style or something, I find some way of appreciating what they do, and I'm grateful that they continue. Now, I might have got a little bit sidetracked from the question, but no. I have a quick example. Like when Neil Young made this album, Landing on Water, a lot of people, well, some people, hated it. I mean, all kinds of stuff. You know, it's almost like, hey, he can't write songs. What? Or he can't play music. It was kind of like that. I love Landing on Water. And I'm not really one of the songs is called Hippie Dream. I love that song. Now, I'm not a hippie, but I love that song. I like what he's doing. So I may have gotten a little bit of sidetrack off of that, but overall, no, I don't apologize for whatever the groups or the artists or the singers, whatever, however, that's the way it's done and that's how they wanted to deliver the goods. I like it. Question number 9. Do you feel silly being an obsessive collector of stuff you are not ever going to listen to? A little bit sometimes. I mean, I do some vinyl updates of stuff that I find, and some of it, honestly, I get to trade with others, and I know that certain local record stores will give me more than others for certain things, and then some things I do keep, but at times a little bit I do feel a little bit silly, and I don't ever too much listen to some of the things I picked up, honestly, and some that I do, so I do a lot of recycling in and a recycling out. So, yeah, okay. Number 10. Do you ever get tired listening to music? Sometimes I do. Sometimes I go and I get back into my writing, my poetry, or writing my own kind of music, or reading comic books. I do enjoy reading comic books, but not for too long, because here's a few things that brings me back to listening to my music or records or CDs, and it starts with classical music. Whenever I hear some of my favorite pieces of music like Planets or some of Beethoven, then I gradually come back to around again to listening to music. A couple of albums that I could think of that bring me back is Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon, and yes, album Fragile. So yes and no, but I don't ever get tired and have like really long, like a long year period where I don't listen to music at all. But sometimes just for a little while, and it's brief, excuse me. Number 11. Don't you hate it when someone leaves a comment on your video and they did not watch your video? Honestly, I've been doing this for about 5 or 6 years, making these videos on YouTube, and I have never noticed a comment like that. But what I have noticed is the thumbs down, and I'm thinking, it seems like that person might have not watched that video, or maybe that person doesn't like the way I talk or something, or maybe there was something in it they didn't like, or whatever the case may be. But a lot of times when I see the thumbs down, I laugh about it. I just say, hey, it's better that I got some kind of response, a thumbs up or a thumbs down. So I leave it at that, and I don't really worry about that. But I never had a comment where somebody said something strange or was rude, or hey, you don't know anything about that, which is true. I don't know a lot about any of this stuff, which is true. I mean, I'm not going to act like something I'm not. Put it that way. Do you ever feel like quitting YouTube? Number 12. Honestly, a while back, I did. I felt like, you know what? I feel like calling it a day, or maybe I was thinking maybe I should just take a long period of time off. And then I kept on watching and enjoying other folks' videos, vinyl updates, or people doing reviews on records, or talking about music they enjoy, or even them talking about their movies or their comic books. And then I got an enjoyment by watching and hearing, and before I knew it, I was back at it again, making videos again. And so then that question went past me, and I kept on going. And like right now, here to this day, or right at this moment, I'm making this video. But anyway, those are my responses to his 12 questions. And I really did enjoy his video. And like I said, I will leave a link to it. And I did enjoy doing this. And these are good questions. I mean, yeah, I mean, these have gone through my head a time or two about certain things, but I really enjoyed this video, and I hope you will enjoy this video. And again, thank you to all my subscribers. Thank you for all the comments, and appreciate y'all very much. And until my next video, take care.